we need to stop trying to control everything, because, we try to control everything, and yet we can't really control everything. We try to control what we want. We try to control like what we want to happen. We try to control God. We try to control all these things, but the thing is, we can't really control anything. Anything outside of yourself, you can't really control. That is way out of your control. That's whatever happens there now is by God's grace. At that point, so we should let go and let God. We should stop trying to, let me give an example. So, like for example, we could pray to God for like a job or something, yeah. So now I could pray to God like, oh God, give me that job. Take me to this place. Give me a girlfriend or whatever, or like a boyfriend or something. It could be anything like that, And then we try to like force an outcome, or we try to force a certain thing to happen. But first of all, God could even be like, no. God could be like, no, that's not even what I have for you. That's not even what I want for you. I can see from up here that that's just gonna be nothing but a mess, you get. So when we now try to start thinking that we are like God, like we can control things, we can make, we aren't, man. So when you learn to let go and let God, that's when you really start to see things happen. You actually, the thing is, God's word, it says, I know the thoughts I think towards you, thoughts to give you hope and a future, you get. So now when we try to start controlling everything, it's like we're basically saying, oh, I'm like God, I can do what I want, I can take care of myself. And God will just step back. He'll be like, okay, no problem, man, since you can do what you want, you do it then. He'll just sit back and watch while. And the thing is, we'll be struggling to do this thing because we aren't God, we're just humans, and in our own strength and in our own wisdom, there is not really anything we can really do. We can, but you won't go really that far, you get. That's why you see people are so bitter, they're so angry, they're so mad at things because they feel disappointed. First of all, some people don't even pursue what God wants for them, and then they expect a certain outcome. It's like, if you want to do your own thing, then you take care of yourself and you make that outcome happen. But see, at the end of the day, it's only God's plan that's going to really prevail. So now when we try to start controlling everything, you're not giving God really any room to do anything, you get. Because you're trying to say, hey, do this. And it's like, huh? God is like, huh? I'm not obligated to do anything for you, man. I do what I want and what pleases me. We need to realize this. God only operates on his terms, only, not ours. You can't, for example, let's say you want like an answer to a question, then you pray to God, you're like, oh my God, I want a certain answer. So give me, if you don't answer me in like 1 day, if you don't do this or that, then I won't follow you. If you don't do this or that, then I'll be done with you. And it's like, and God's like, what? Huh? Do you know who I am, and do you know who you are? First of all, how I don't know how we think we're so powerful. Bro, God is the one who created all the things we see. There is nothing outside of God that was made. Nothing. Everything was made through him, and through him all things have their being. That's the only way we have our being. So now for us to go and start thinking we're like him and we can like control things, it's like, huh? Okay, no problem. Like, okay, go ahead then. But then now you see, when you learn to surrender to God and say, Lord, check, I want this. It may not have gone the way I wanted. It may not have worked out the way I want, but it's okay because you're still in control, and I know you have good plans for me, you get. And so now when God hears this, he's like, oh, okay, wow, okay, cool. So, and then now when you surrender what you want and you're willing to like let God take control, you will really start to notice a big difference. There's really, really a big difference in what happens, because now you're allowing God to do what he thinks is best. And when that happens, you'll really notice things changing. It's kind of like, when it says, those that wait on the Lord shall mount up on wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall they shall walk and not faint, or something like that. So when you let God be God, when you trust him and you wait on him, and you let him do what he's going to empower you, do what he's going to do what he needs to do for you, because you've trusted him, you've placed everything in his hands. And you see, in our own might and strength, what can we really do? I mean, if you really think about it, there's not really much we can do. So it's like, we should really just leave it to God, because he's the one who can do all things. He's the one who can do anything. He's our source of strength. If you allow him to be your source of strength, you'll really realize how much of a difference there really is when compared to when you try to do something yourself. Like, I've noticed, sometimes when I don't pray, it's like things just get to me. It's like so annoying. Like, things just become so frustrating so fast. Things can just make me so mad. But then when I pray, it's like I don't really care. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, it's kind of like this. It's like you have like when it's raining, yeah, and then you're wearing like a raincoat. Have you noticed the drops? They just fall off. It doesn't even faze you, man. You don't even care. Because it's like it just falls off. But then now you see, when you don't have that, it's like every drop now is hitting you. And the enemy is like, he's always shooting things at you. He's always trying to attack you and all these things. And when we try to do things on our own strength, then we don't really have that coat of protection that God gives. So every drop, every dart, everything that comes against us now is so frustrating. You get? So now when we learn to let go and let God, you'll just notice that there's really a big difference, because now you can notice that now you're chilling. You're not trying to force everything to happen. You're just trusting God. And now when you're trusting God and letting him do what he needs to do, then now, and when you surrender to him, you're letting him take full control. Now you're in the back seat, and now wherever he decides to take you, you go. And the thing is, God's not going to take you to some dingy places. He's not going to take us to some weird. He's going to lead us and guide us to our blessings. So now when we don't listen to him and we don't trust him, then how can we really find the blessings that are meant to be ours? You get what I'm saying? So we should just let go and let God, because he knows what's best. We don't know what's best. We could force this issue, we could force this and that, but we don't know everything. It even says in his word, as high as the heavens are above the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts, or something like that. Basically, his thoughts and his ways are far greater than ours. We may think we know everything, but God's just like, man, what do you really know? His foolishness is still like wisdom, you get? So when you just let go and let him, you'll really notice a big shift. And the thing is, when you're always trying to force outcomes, you'll just be so disappointed, because you don't have the power to make that outcome a reality. You get? I mean, there's some things that of course might go your way, but after some time you'll notice it wasn't really that good of a, and it wasn't really that good, you get, compared to what God would have planned for you. You get? It's like you want to go to this school or to this place, and God's like, no, don't go there. But then you decide, okay, I'm still gonna go anyway. And God's gonna be like, okay, no problem, you do you. And then he'll just watch. And then now after a while, you notice that the people here a bit, I don't know how, the things they do here a bit, I don't know how. I feel a kind of way when I come to work. It's just not an enjoyable experience. So now when you let God choose for you, now you notice. So when you let God choose for you, for example, you'll notice that the place he takes you, the job he gives you, it'll be so fulfilling. It'll be so much better than what you are really looking for. It'll be so much better. like it could pay more. The people there could be really nice. You could actually end up enjoying yourself and have a good time. So when you let go and let God, you'll really notice God will lead you to the best, because He knows you. He knows what you really want, and he's gonna give you the best. So we don't know. We don't really know anything. So when we try to start thinking we know everything and we want to force certain things, it's like, no, that thing could not even be the best thing ever. Like that relationship, you find that after some time, it's just now it's just such a headache to be in the relationship. You see the person, you're just like, bro, So it's just kind of like that. So we should really learn to trust and let go and let God. We should really learn this. We should learn to surrender to God, because He knows what's best for us at the end of the day, and He's not gonna lead us astray. So you can trust Him and you can love Him. Because that's the amazing thing about God, is you can trust Him. You really can. So you should, because He's never gonna let you down. I can promise you that.